Welcome back to Reds Fusion LFC. What a twist in the Alexander Isak transfer saga. From Liverpool's fresh hope to Newcastle's replacement plan and a Real Madrid U-turn, this one's got it all. Stay tuned as we break it all down. Smash that like button, drop your thoughts in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe to Reds Fusion LFC for more breaking LFC news. I know exactly what Alexander Isak's thinking. These are his Liverpool and Newcastle dilemmas. Alexander Isak is still wanted by Liverpool, and it has left the Newcastle United striker in limbo, while one Premier League legend knows exactly what he's going through. Dimitar Berbatov believes Alexander Isak will be contemplating more than just the future of his career as Liverpool continue to target the Newcastle United striker. To say he has impressed since arriving from Real Sociedad in 2022 would be an understatement. Isak is one of the best centre-forwards in Europe, and his finishing backs that up, having scored 62 goals in 109 appearances for the Magpies. Isak has also been instrumental in helping the club finish 4th, 7th and 5th in the Premier League over the past 3 seasons, not to mention scoring the winner in the 2025 Carabao Cup final. However, the 25-year-old's future on Tyneside has been clouded in speculation this summer, as the Swede made clear he wished to explore his options away from Newcastle, with Premier League champions Liverpool the only realistic destination for Isak at present. According to Berbatov, who faced a similar situation when he left Tottenham Hotspur to play for Manchester United back in 2008 in a £30.75 million move, Isak will have plenty on his mind, and he knows just what the player is going through. Speaking exclusively to Mirror Football, the LiveScore and LiveScore Bet European brand ambassador said, "I've been there. I've been in that situation as well, so for a striker or any star player of a team at one point or another, more often than not, it's going to come down to this. Him wanting to leave if a bigger club comes after him. Of course, it's different because every individual, every player is different. Everybody thinks differently. But more times than not, when a big club comes for you, then you start thinking about trophies, about Champions League, about playing with the best, against the best. Of course Newcastle is one of the best teams in England and I used to support them because when Alan Shearer was there raising his hand, and all the time it was great watching them. And even now it's entertaining, what they're doing. But when Liverpool comes after you, Man City, Real Madrid, Barca, one of the biggest teams in the world, then trust me, your head is going to go like this, thinking about it and imagining it. Oh my God, the white shirt of Real Madrid, The red of Liverpool. Is this the next step of my development? So do I need to take it? What happens if I don't? Maybe I miss my opportunity and that's going to be it for me. Of course, maybe the pay raise, more money, because football is business these days. So a lot of questions that I'm sure are going to Isak. Of course his agent around him, his family around him, friends, environment is also very important. Newcastle United report, Alexander Isak replacement revealed as double signing gives Liverpool new hope. By Matthew Holt, published 34 minutes ago. Alexander Isak looks to be heading to Liverpool and Newcastle United have found another replacement. Newcastle United have identified another potential replacement for Alexander Isak. The Magpies, who look reluctant to allow Isak to join Liverpool this summer, may soon have to accept their fate, as the Sweden international continues to try and push through a move to Merseyside. But Eddie Howe's side are not going down without a fight, having slapped a whopping £150 million price tag on the former Real Sociedad star. With talk of Nicholas Jackson and Benjamin Sesko arriving as their new number 9, it is a new name that has now been linked with a switch to St James Park. Newcastle United step-up search for Alexander Isak replacement and it's not Nicholas Jackson. It's been a summer of frustration for the Magpies, who have missed out on countless targets. João Pedro opted for Chelsea, Liam Delap too. Dean Huijsen was even loosely linked before he opted for a switch to Spain. Then there was the Benjamin Sesko fiasco, who looked all but set to move Newcastle after Isak trained away from the northeast. Sesko has now, for all it seems, chosen to join Manchester United, and the Slovenian is the latest player to have snubbed Howe and his team. But with Jackson now wanted by clubs in Italy and Germany, a new name has emerged as a potential target for Newcastle United. According to The Athletic, FC Porto forward Samu Agahoa has been identified. The club are yet to make a formal approach, and there is no guarantee that the move will happen, but Agahoa is a player liked by Newcastle, and he could fit the bill as Isak's natural replacement. Brentford's Jon Wissa and Wolverhampton Wanderers' Jorgen Strand Larsen are also considered options for the Tyneside club, with time running out for the Magpies to replace Isak before the start of the new Premier League season. Agahoa, formerly known as Omarodian, scored 27 goals across 45 appearances in his debut season at Porto and has been watched carefully by many top clubs around Europe this summer. Transfermarkt value the Spanish forward at €50 million, £43.3 million. In 442's view, Newcastle do not look prepared to sell Isak until a tailor-made replacement for him is in the building. Although Agahoa presents something of a risk, his goal tally last season is impressive, and at the price quoted, he could offer a resolution to the ongoing situation surrounding their current number 9. Alexander Isak made last-minute transfer U-turn after hearing from Real Madrid. Alexander Isak is desperate to leave Newcastle, with Arne Slot's Liverpool having seen a transfer bid for the Swedish international rejected by Eddie Howe's Magpies. Alexander Isak's current standoff with Newcastle amid interest from Liverpool is familiar ground for the Swedish forward. He's made his intentions to leave St James' Park clear, and despite a hefty £110 million, $148 million, offer from the Reds being turned down by the Magpies, the saga continues. Newcastle has stood firm on its stance that Isak isn't up for grabs, yet the 25-year-old has found himself training solo after skipping their pre-season jaunt to Asia. Liverpool's interest in Isak hasn't waned, and the Reds might just table a second bid. But even after shipping Luis Diaz off to Bayern Munich and agreeing Darwin Núñez's sale to Al Hilal, they're not about to be taken for a ride. Real Madrid U-turn in Tuchel row. Back when he was a teenage prodigy at AIK Solna, Isak caught the eye of several top European clubs, including Real Madrid. He had agreed terms with the Spanish team soon after turning 17 but then had second thoughts. Choosing Borussia Dortmund instead, he cited the Bundesliga outfit's knack for nurturing young stars. Speaking to 442 magazine, he said, "Everyone knows that Borussia is a good club to develop at as a young player because so many of them are in the first team. I want to play here and I am waiting for my chance, and I'll take it when it comes." However, Isak's transfer only served to stir up tension behind the scenes, with then-manager Thomas Tuchel and the club's top brass at odds. Tuchel distanced himself from the signing in a press conference by claiming he'd never heard of the young player, leading chief executive Hans-Joachim Watzke to issue an apology to Isak. Tuchel was miffed about being left out of the loop on the transfer, curtly directing queries about Isak to talk to Dortmund sporting director, Michael Zorc, about it. Despite Tuchel's subsequent departure, Isak struggled for game time as Dortmund saw 3 different coaches in just 1 year. A lone stint in the Netherlands with Willem II proved pivotal in reviving his career before he sealed a move to Real Sociedad in 2019 for a steal at £7.5 million, $10.1 million. Buyback clause. Dortmund had the foresight to include a buyback option in the region of £26 million, $35 million, when it sold him. With Isak finding the net regularly for Sociedad, Dortmund mulled over re-signing him as a potential successor to Erling Haaland. Yet, Isak's preference to remain in Spain led Sociedad to agree on a £5 million, $6.7 million, fee with Dortmund to remove the buyback clause in the summer of 2021. Raising some eyebrows, he remarked at that time, "I'm fully aware that there is a clause." Liverpool transfer news, Arne Slot's Alexander Isak reply and things aren't signed hint. Liverpool still hope to bring Alexander Isak to the Premier League champions before the end of the summer transfer window, and Arne Slot was questioned on the Newcastle striker at a press conference. Liverpool boss Arne Slot has hinted Darwin Núñez's transfer to Saudi side Al Hilal is nearly finalized in a telling press conference. However, he remained tight-lipped on whether Alexander Isak would be stepping into the Uruguayan's shoes at Anfield. Slot's Premier League champions have already welcomed Hugo Ekitike, 23, to their attacking lineup, but Isak remains a target. An initial offer of up to £120 million was turned down by Newcastle, and it's yet to be seen if the Reds will come back with a new proposal this summer. Questioned about the 25-year-old Swedish goal machine, the Dutch manager told reporters ahead of Liverpool's Community Shield clash against Crystal Palace on Sunday. "As you know, we never talk about players that aren't yours. I can talk about Hugo, who signed recently. We are very happy with the squad we are having. Okay, players left, but we brought players in as well, and youngsters are doing good. Darwin might leave, but things aren't signed yet. We need to wait a few days before things are done." The departure of Nunez, 26, could bolster Liverpool's transfer kitty by a further £46 million, rising to more than £50 million, as they pursue the £120 million rated Isak. He missed Newcastle's tour of Asia, instead training with his old club Real Sociedad as he worked towards regaining full fitness. The Swedish striker is now back training at Newcastle, but manager Eddie Howe isn't expected to select him for upcoming friendly matches. Howe said earlier this week, "You have to earn the right to train with us. We are Newcastle United. The player has a responsibility here to be part of a team and part of a squad. You have to act in the right way. So that is also at play here. We will make sure that any player does that to earn the right to train with the group. No player can expect to act poorly and train with the group as normal." Slot didn't directly address Isak, but he did hint at another attacking option for later in the season. With Mohamed Salah set to be absent during the Africa Cup of Nations, Slot suggested new right-back Jeremy Frimpong could step up in his absence. "We definitely thought about AFCON. It's partly why we brought in Frimpong, because he can play as a right winger. A maximum 6 games without MO, but that's a lot in the Premier League. Jeremy can play there, but he isn't the only option. Liverpool's immediate attention is on the Community Shield. The Reds face FA Cup winners Palace at Wembley on Sunday, offering fans another glimpse of fresh faces like Frimpong, Ekitike and Florian Wirtz. Liverpool could help Chelsea do Xavi Simons' deal after Alejandro Garnacho transfer. Liverpool could inadvertently aid Chelsea's pursuit of Xavi Simons over the coming weeks. The Blues have been strongly linked with the Netherlands international and could make a £60 million swoop before the transfer window closes. Talks between Chelsea and RB Leipzig are reportedly ongoing. However, it has emerged that the German club would prefer to sign a replacement before allowing Simons to leave. The 22-year-old is a key player for Leipzig. And that is where Liverpool may come in useful. The Reds may offload fringe midfielder Harvey Elliott this summer to fund a string of further deals, including a new forward and a centre-back. Liverpool are said to value the England under-21 international close to £50 million. According to The Athletic, they have no great desire to sell. Leipzig are reportedly interested in a move for Elliott, who made only 5 starts across all competitions last season. Signing the 22-year-old would give them the perfect replacement for Simons. Once Leipzig complete a deal for Elliott, they would then be able to sell Simons to Chelsea. That would see the Blues improve Enzo Maresca's squad and potentially challenge Liverpool for the Premier League title. If the transfer happens, Simons would join a stacked group of attacking talent at Stamford Bridge. The former Paris Saint-Germain star will compete for a place in Maresca's team with the likes of Cole Palmer, Joao Pedro, Jamie Gittins, Estevao Willian and Pedro Neto. And he could face further competition if Chelsea complete a move for Alejandro Garnacho. According to Fabrizio Romano, the Blues have agreed personal terms with the Manchester United outcast, who has no future under Red Devils boss Ruben Amorim. Garnacho is said to have eyes only on Chelsea, having previously been linked with Aston Villa, Tottenham and clubs from across Europe. The 21-year-old will now desperately wait to see if Chelsea can agree a fee with United. The Red Devils are reportedly holding out for around £50 million, having already spent over £200 million on attacking talent to replace the Argentina international. It remains unclear whether Chelsea are prepared to pay that much. The Stamford Bridge outfit have already spent over £230 million this summer, and must have a positive transfer balance to register new signings in the Champions League. Should Garnacho join Chelsea, he could link up with Simons in a new-look attack next season. Liverpool will have had an indirect hand in the Blues putting the duo together.